All right, everybody. Come on in, come on in. Thank you all so much for being here. For anybody new here, hi, I am Maggie, your substitute teacher. You all may know me from my cooking channel. I make food and femininity content. Lucy and I are the founders of the Finishing School for the Modern Woman, where we teach ladies of all ages all about elegance, etiquette, and femininity. We will be having another round in the fall. Right now, we are in the middle of the Etiquette Summer School for the Kids by popular request. So, once a week, we like to come here and give back to you all as two older women. But, Lucy, please introduce yourself.
Hi, Maggie. Hi, everyone. So I'm Lucy, and I got to share something from our earlier session today with the kids. One of the participants said that one of the weaknesses was speaking Spanish because apparently she's got some relatives that speak Spanish, and that made my day because my channel was basically Spanish teaching for non-Spanish speakers. So I'm hoping that she goes to that channel, and now it's giving me a reason to maybe go back to my Spanish because I have failed on the etiquette, elegance, and in items for women over 50. I think that for me, maybe share something that I know instead of requiring all that research because putting a channel on, it's a lot of work. I don't think that people realize how much preparation and planning it takes to set up a channel. So I might be going back to either Spanish or and sprinkle a little bit of etiquette things. So anyway, oh, Sinji, thank you so much for my birthday gift. He sent me these sunglasses for, yeah, they're beautiful. I have them in my closet. If I get a chance, I might show them to you. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, and I love that. So I'll do a little informal poll for anyone who would like Lucy to go back to or to continue to include her Spanish lessons. Maybe find the Spanish flag or something Spanish theme, maybe a taco, a burrito, anything. I know it's Mexican. Look, just try, put it in the chat and let us know. If you want Lucy to continue her etiquette and elegance training for ladies of a particular age, maybe you find the dress icon or the high heels icon. And if you think she should do both, put both in the chat. All right. So we are continuing, and I think we're going to wrap up a series today. Lucy sent me a video. I'm going to let her remind us, but this is from the Happy Wife School. And she had a video that we are reacting to called Submissive Wife, The Secret to a Happy Marriage. And Lucy and I both have marriage and long-term relationship experience, so we're going to be sharing our take on it. And we've gotten through parts 1 and parts 2, and you all seem to love it. So I think we're going to wrap up today. But before we begin, we will take attendance, see who we have here. And those of you all on Instagram, if you want to see the screen share, you can hop on over to my YouTube or Facebook or Lucy's channel or my Twitch or Twitter. So, Lucy, remind us why you wanted us to take a look at this video.
The reason I sent you that video and I wanted you to take a look at the video as a community is because I think the modern women have learned that the word submissive, it's something that is offensive or they don't like it for whatever reason. And the word offensive to us, more traditional conservative women, it means being agreeable to things that our significant other, not our partner, our husbands, uh, ask us to do, or we're working on together. Again, submissive means being agreeable.
Absolutely. And Lucy and I both have a connection to the late, great Kevin Samuels. And I love the way he described it as submission is just respectful cooperation. And ladies, I always say you can choose to do whatever you want or not. We are here to give you our take. And if you believe in traditional relationships or something that's going to last the test of time, hopefully this is helpful for you. Who do we have watching us today? We got Centennial G. Centennial the Great says he's mowing the lawn and he sees us pop up. You're going to be listening in the background. Absolutely. Hopefully, we provide a good listening experience. Never mind. It's Saturday afternoon, and I have to thank Lucy as always. Y'all, we were here on Wild Card Wednesday. And then I started this summer cooking stream with Aisha on Wednesdays. So then we moved to Thursdays. And then I got the interview this week and I'm traveling. So, Lucy, I just from the bottom of my heart, you are amazing to work with and you put up with me. So, that's why we're here on a Saturday afternoon, whether y'all are watching live or the replay. We got UFO Kamikaze in the house saying, hello, ladies. Hello, sir. Jurgen is here from across the pond. Shout out to Germany. We have, is this Radarin? Make sure I'm saying that correctly. Just, he says, greeting ladies watching on Lucy's channel. And Cindy says, of course, thank you and you're welcome for your glasses, mi hermana. Enjoy your 21st birthday. Radarin has just subscribed. We've got Mrs. KP Bailey watching and everybody saying hello. Chevelta's here. Good afternoon, women with the wisdom. Absolutely. And hello to everyone on my IG as well. Radarin says, love the work that you're doing, ladies. We need more channels such as this one. And we thank you for the compliment. And we already have a stream sponsor, Swal D. Thank you for the $5. So consistent. And we appreciate it because you didn't even have to be here and give. So thank you. All right, everyone. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to play a little bit of the video and then I'm going to pause it and we will react to it. The first part, the parts 1 and parts 2 are up if you all want to catch the replay. We talked about what submission is, what submission isn't in a relationship, why it's good not only in the marriages, but it's actually good for us as women who want to be wives. If you want to be a boss babe, do your thing. We don't have anything for you here. But if you want to be in a happy relationship with the man of your dreams, submission goes a long way. So we stopped on part 2, where she was ending her video with 3 tips on how women can be submissive in their marriages. And I love giving tangible things that we can do. The theory is great, but we have to apply it. So the first one we covered, but I'm going to rewind just a little bit. She was talking about submission in the finances. And so I'm just going to play the tail end of that. We'll wrap that up. And then today we will talk about ways number 2 and number 3 that we women can be submissive in our marriages. All right, so let me share my screen, share the audio, maximize the size, and mute myself. And let's.
Is to be on a budget. And I know there's some women out there that might listen or hear this and think, well, he spends too much money. I'm the one that wants to be on a budget. He's the one being irresponsible and going into debt. We want to recognize that in general, good men want to be financially responsible and plan for the future. Are there exceptions to this? Of course. But in general, good men want to be financially responsible and plan for the future. In general, as women, and I speak from my own experience, we do not like being on a budget because we don't want something telling us what we can and cannot do. And we certainly don't want our husbands to lead in a budget and let them have that control. So this is a wonderful way to consider and step into as a wife to be submissive in a marriage. Simply letting your husband lead and respecting his opinions and decisions as the head of the household and not invalidating him. Being on a budget is a way for us to learn to be responsible. And the good men want to know that it's reasonable for you as a good man to take the lead and for us as women to be on a budget and put the family first and build financial security. It's just practical, good advice. And we have a lot we can learn as women by being on a budget and learning to let go of making it all about us and what we want and that need to be in control, and actually learning to parent ourselves around money and be financially responsible and allow our husbands to lead in that. That's number one.
All right, ladies, go ahead and peel yourselves off of the ceiling or the floor or wherever you are shrieking and crying. We're going to unpack this one. And I think she touched on something that's, hard to hear at times, but I like to explain the why behind the what. And just from wisdom, I'm not, someone who collects a whole bunch of statistics. But again, if you have a typical traditional household, and this is not about who writes the check. Okay, I'm showing my age. This is not about who actually pays the bills, right? But here's the thing, ladies. We know that men can live with a lot less. A man can be very happy in a studio apartment, driving an old beat up pickup truck, wearing his favorite shirt and jeans, and be happy. We know we can't live like that. We will think the sky is falling and the world is ending if we can't have the latest and greatest, whatever it is. Every woman has her thing. Some of us, it's kitchen gadgets. Some of us, it may be, Lucy talked about her she shed last week. Some of you all, it's clothes. Some of you all, it's shoes. So I don't want you to fight. Our nature is, and I saw this, I think, from Radar, and women are the number one consumers. And here's the thing, ladies, the big companies know this. My man works as a VP for a very large company, and they target their advertising to women consumers, because if the women buy it and the women like it, it's going to be a smash. So just know that this is how we are, and this is the environment we're in. I always like to put myself on the hot seat. And I talked about this last time. If we have a windfall, let's say it's a bonus check, or you get, some rebate, or you're on unemployment and then you get a new job and there's a little time when you can double dip. What do we want to do? Let's paint the town red. And it usually takes our men to say, okay, we're not going to spend all of it. We're not going to eat out every night. We're not going to, buy the best of everything. We have to cut back. The reason why, ladies, men are long-term thinkers. We are impulsive. We get excited. We want it right now. Men are thinking, okay, if I spend all now, what am I going to have in the future? So if you want to be in a relationship with a masculine man, I want you all to know this so it doesn't cause contention in your marriages, in your relationships, so you can happily submit, knowing he has your best interest at heart. Lucy, what would you add?
I agree. And another thing, I think I put the she shed example the last time, talking about this future planning that men have. My husband, I kept bugging him about this she shed, and he asked me, "So what do you think this is going to take?" So I gave him, a natural emotional response, womanly, impulsive. I said, "It's going to be something that we get from Lowe's, and we just put it there." And he goes, "And how are you going to deal with the 113-degree, heat that we have right now? How are you going to deal with the rain?" So he started giving me all those things. They're the ones that think about those real life things that add up to the cost. So again, it wasn't just a $900 shed. He was thinking, there's going to be additional stuff that is required and more money and more, I got to plan it well, instead of giving you something that a year from now, you're not going to be happy and you're going to be complaining about getting a bigger shed. So again, they are planning for the future. They're always looking at how the return on investment is going to be at the moment and in 10 years from now.
Absolutely. I love that. Let's see what you all are saying in the chat. Hello, Tiffany. Thank you so much for being here. Suave D says, I take slight issue when she says, let your husband lead. You don't let him lead. You allow yourself to be led by him. He doesn't need permission to lead. Excuse me. I understand and I don't disagree. I would just say she knows who she's talking to, which is the stubborn modern woman. And I think we do have to change our language so that people hear, if they choose to hear. Ladies, we have our hands on that steering wheel gripped so tight. We are going to make it happen no matter what. We need to let go. We need to let him lead, understanding that he is, if you married a masculine man and he's a natural born leader, that probably attracted you to him. That's one of the things that feminine women love about masculine men. I love that about my man. He's so decisive. He can tell you his 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10-year goal. I'm just happy to be here, y'all. I do not know. Like, I see a recipe and I'm like, ooh, let's make that. Do I have the ingredients? Oh, yeah. I might need to plan a grocery order. Ladies, that's just how we are. All right. So I understand what you're saying, Suave G, but hopefully modern women will hear that, because it's something that you're going to have to wrestle yourself and lay it down, because the man that you want is not going to wait for you to get on board. Sinji says, I'm not showing my age talking about them checks. He says, I still write checks and I'm 42 in December. Budgeting with checks is a lost art. Yes, if anyone doesn't know what a check is, ask me. y'all tap, swipe, Venmo, and all of that. Understood. Yes, still happy to be here. And those of y'all on IG, if you want to come to YouTube, I'm sharing my screen, or you can just watch from there. Rodney says, men enjoy a Spartan lifestyle if there is a goal involved. Ding, ding, ding. That's a big one. And I will drop the link if you all want to come over to YouTube once we wrap up. We have 2 more. This part right here, the Spartan lifestyle, the warrior lifestyle, that, out in the wilderness, just the clothes on my back, my spear, my sandals, sounds like torture to me. But, as a boy mom, if you watch how boys naturally are and how they play, they go for the fight. They go for the suffering. They lean into the discomfort, where we women make it warm and soft and comfortable before I step out there. Are you kidding me? No. So I love this, that Rodney is saying, the Spartan lifestyle, if there's a goal involved. Men are usually thinking about the car that they want, the house that they want, the woman that they want, and there's a cost to that. So they're willing to eat the ramen. They're willing to do peanut butter sandwiches. They're willing to go without. They're willing to have one shirt and one pair of pants and shoes. Ladies, ask any man that you respect. Take the time. When I say we don't know men, we don't take the time to get to know men. The more I talk to men, you realize all of them have an origin story. They didn't just wake up like this and it was magical. They had to earn it every day. And I think if we take the time to understand that, if not for men in general, but for our men, you would have a lot more appreciation about what they do. Tanya says, good evening. Hello, my dear. Clue Channel is here. Maggie Lou in the house. Absolutely. Rodney says, the language of love requires some degree of understanding and submission by both parties. Absolutely. I mean, I think, I'll say this, you all know I'm team man. I think when a man chooses a wife, he is already submitted. He is willing to lay his life down. He is willing to, if there's only enough food for one, she can eat, I will go without. If there is a bump in the night, he will send the wife and kids out the back to safety, and he will fight towards a death. And I get a little emotional because I am a boy mom, and it changes my life because I know we are raising our sons to take that burden on. And it is the submission that men require to be able to command the respect to have a family. So yes, ladies, please believe your husband is already submitting for your benefit. Clue Channel says, I write checks for rent. Absolutely. The Clue says, I love your cooking show. Thank you. I'll be back in the kitchen tomorrow. The boys will be back tonight. I'm already marinating the chicken. But anyway, let us continue on. All right, let me share my screen. We're going to go back to number 2, way that women can submit in their marriages.
The second way that women need to be submissive in marriage, I will say before I go to the second one, I will do a whole live on this. I'm just planting seeds. So we're not going to go super in depth, but this is one that could be a whole live, or I don't know, probably 3 or 4 lives. But number 2 of ways women need to be submissive in a marriage. Let your husband lead in parenting. Let your husband lead in parenting. Good men are the better parents. Good men are the better parents because they want their children to be independent, responsible, and to know that there are consequences in life. Good men are really, really good at holding children accountable, giving consequences, holding their children to those consequences so that their children can build the character and strength to navigate the struggles and hardships of life. As women, we bring all of our fears of life and the bad things that can happen in life and the challenging things that can happen in life and our insecurity and fears of that. We bring that all into our parenting and are overprotective of our children and become mother bears that protect our children from the pain and hardship of life, which is one of the worst things that we can do for kids, is to try to protect them from the hardships, realities, and pain of life. Good men understand that the hardship and struggles of life are necessary to build strength and resilience. They are really, really, really good parents, and they naturally know how to lead their children and understanding the realities of life and leading them to build character and integrity and be responsible for their choices and behaviors. As women, we swoop in, and because we are pain avoiders and conflict avoiders, we swoop in and try to even protect our children from their dad of giving consequences or being direct and making a point, when that's exactly what children need to feel loved, to respect their parents, and to become good citizens and make good choices and be responsible and be able to handle the adversity of life. That's number 2. Like I said, I'll do a whole live on that, but today is just planting seeds. So number 2 of how women need to be submissive in a marriage: let your husband lead in parenting.
All right, y'all. Now it gets real. We're going to have a conversation, and if it hurts some feelings, it hurts some feelings. It may even hurt my feelings, but it is so true. I do want to respond to a question that I got on IG because it rolls into what we're going to talk about here. But I have to say thank you so much, Shantia Frazier, for the $5. She says, listening to this live with my daughter. Thank you both for sharing your wisdom. That right there is why we do this. It's not about Lucy and me. We are set. We have our relationships. If we never stream again, we have what we want out of life. But we definitely feel a responsibility in paying it forward. And I would challenge all mothers. You all hear me talk about the boys all the time. You don't have to get on the internet and say what you've done right and what you've done wrong. But I hope you are having conversations with your own children about what you did right and what you did wrong so that they can be better. So I have a question from Prince Javon. It says, do some people ask how you can give advice when being divorced? Fair question, because you asked, I will answer. And I talk about this openly. I have nothing to hide. I really believe that older women, older people have a responsibility to be honest about what we've done right and what we've done wrong. You all may not know my story. I met my ex-husband when I was 18. He was my only college boyfriend, got engaged the year after college and married the year after that. I was married at 25, married for 10 years, have 2 boys. And I always say that I got caught up in that modern woman mindset. I thought my accomplishments meant more. I thought if he got a promotion, I needed a promotion. I was always, domestic and loved being, a nurturer, but I put myself in a position that I didn't realize as we naturally age and slow down, I wasn't going to keep up that same pace. And so I always say, unfortunately, the marriage did end in divorce. So if because I'm divorced, people think I have no reason to speak, that's totally fine. Please find someone that you can listen to and actually get the message that works for you. But I think that being honest about it, and second time around, my second relationship, I've been in two relationships. I reconnected with someone from my past that I grew up with. I'm completely different because I've chosen to do a lot of work to get on the program and understand my natural role and lean into that. So that's the position that I speak from. Now, when it comes to the children and allowing your husband to parent, this one hits near and dear for me because I am that mom. I'm the overachiever. I was the one who got the kids in the really good school, and I wanted everything to look good, and I wanted to make sure everything was picture perfect. And both of the boys, they're very smart, but they don't really love school like that. I come from academia, but not everybody does. And I learned a very hard lesson because I was that mom who was calling the school. Can they have extra time to do their assignments? Can I buy supplies and, send snacks and do all these things? And as the boys got older, I realized that I was doing too much, and I kept having that conversation with them. You got to do better. You got to do better. Long story short, pardon me, the boys live with their dad now. We had an incident. They got into it with each other, and he came over because we co-parent really well. He said, pack your stuff. You're coming with me. You're not doing this to your mother, my ex-husband. And I was worried about all the school stuff that I was trying to make picture perfect. And he said, if they want to pass, they'll pass. And I don't think you all understand, for the gold star, straight A, master's degree, super mom that I am, I could not let go and just let them learn the hard lesson. But my ex-husband knew that nobody's going to come coddle them. Nobody's going to protect them. If they need to fail and repeat a grade, that's the lesson that they need to have. And it took everything in me to let go because I had worn myself out trying to make the magic happen. And would you believe, within a month of being at their dad's house, the grades started going up. The back talking went away. All of the stuff I was struggling with, the chores started getting done. So you can argue me down if you want to, ladies, but I'm telling you, and as a boy mom, boys have to learn from men. The men have to check them. And like she said, the consequences have to be real and they have to be swift, because if not, this is what happens when we're out here in the world and we see people who do not know how to cope in the real world. So my hat's off to all the men. My ex-husband, thank you for relieving me from myself because my best effort was not good enough. And I hope some moms hear me and let your husband lead in parenting. What would you add, Lucy?
Well, I can't really speak to having children because unfortunately my first marriage ended up because I could not be a mom. So I can speak as a divorce, also as a, with experience on a divorce. But now my current husband, he's fine not having kids. We discussed that at the beginning. But I do see, I observe my sisters and my brothers and my brother-in-laws dealing with the boys at home, and it makes a difference when you cuddle the boys and you baby them. Then when the father comes in, he says, pick up that stuff, I don't want to hear you talking back. And that's that. It's immediate response. Whereas with the moms, they get away with a lot. With the dads, no, when the dad said something, they know it's serious and it's got to get done.
So true. Thank you all for the hearts. Let's see what you all are saying in the chat. Everybody coming through and saying hello. Gillis says, agree. Moms usually coddle and lead by emotions. That's true. And ladies, I don't want you to feel like we're piling on. We are women too. Believe me, everything in me is screaming chaotic woman. But hopefully with age and wisdom, I've learned to really tamp that down, especially in the areas where it doesn't. Everybody's talking about what serves them. A lot of our natural inclination, ladies, does not serve us in relationships with masculine men. If you want to be the boss and get out front and you work until you're 65 and find a man to get on your program, have at it. I am not going to fight you. I saw this here from Jurgen, and he said, I'm over my wife's lack of planning, never again. And it's one of the reasons for the divorce. So ladies, you think you may be getting away with something, but men are very long suffering and they're not going to complain all the time like we do. And then one day they may just say, you know what? I've had it. Believe me. Yes, thank you, Shanti. And thank you, Rodney, again, not Rodney, Suave D, for the extra $5. We appreciate that. Rodharan says that production equals results. So not sure I understand, but thank you for that. I'm sure maybe you want to expound on that. Rodney says self-discipline is learning to impose personal boundaries. And that is the key, ladies. We have to realize the world is not going to rescue any of us. And our boys have to learn that early and often. And it was a big pill I had to swallow and a huge blow to my ego. And that's why I come on here and tell you all what I've done right and what I've done wrong in hopes that you all can avoid these mistakes. But do not think your professional accomplishments, those letters behind your name, your managerial position at work, do not think all of those things, and I have lots of accolades on paper, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to parenting, when it comes to some of the things that have stood the test of time, we are just built different. You hear me say all the time, we are not equal. We are equally valued, but we are very different. Tanya says, amen. Radaran is talking about, the discipline. Yeah, and what's so funny? I don't even think he really had the discipline. He just had to say, do it or don't do it. I'm not going to make you. And I was like, you're not? You're not going to check the backpacks? You're not going to call the teachers? You're not. He was like, no. If they want to do it, they'll do it. They know what to do. And they're 15 and almost 17, just so y'all know. Gillis says, the blessing is also that one finds a man that has that quality to lead. Ladies, this part right here, you have to choose wisely. You have to choose wisely. You have to choose wisely. I'll use myself as an example. Even if the marriage doesn't last, I made an excellent choice in a father for my boys. They're going to be here. I'm sorry, I get very worked up about this and passionate. They're going to be here after we're gone. So even if he's not the right man for you, or you can't keep it or whatever, you ladies who are keeping the men away from their children, you are hurting your children. That is not what a good mother does. Those of you all that are having babies on your own because you want a child and the clock is running out, which is selfish, that is not what a good mother does. A good mother prioritizes her children over herself. My ego, out the door. What the kids need, especially now that they're older, is the leadership of their father. All right. Rodney says boys and girls mature differently. Tucker says, get it, Maggie. I'm trying, y'all. I've been told I'm mean. I do not care. Somebody got to say it. All right. I think we got everything. We're going to move on to number 3. Tanya says, wow. Jurgen says, that's Disney. Yeah, y'all, I'm telling you, I've had to learn and come a long way. Rodney says the art of discipline requires the perspective of the long-term consequences. A mother's love is invaluable to a child's immediate development, but a father's love looks to the future outcomes. That's true. I will always be mom. And I'll tell you all, I'm so much happier now, and I'm a much better mother staying in my lane, letting their dad handle the structure. And when they come over, y'all know, what do you want to eat? I'm cooking. Like, I am the Kool-Aid mom, but you're not mom and dad. You cannot be dad. Stop saying that. All right. Getting a little worked up. Lucy, did you want to add anything else?
No, Maggie, I learned from you when it comes to, having a family and sharing your boys and having your ex-husband uh, parent the boys as a man. I mean, it's fascinating to see how successful your boys are so far, because they've had your upbringing from when they were very young, and then when you knew it was time to pass the baton to the dad, you went ahead and did it. I know it hurt a little bit, but you see the result right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And both of the boys are probably, well, going to take the military track. So we're very, very proud. All right. I see some more comments coming in. I want to go to point number 3. So she had 3 things that ladies can do to submit to their husbands in the marriage. The first was financially. The second was in parenting. And then we're going to move on to number 3, give our take, get you all's feedback, and then we'll let you have your Saturday afternoon.
Number 3 of how women need to be submissive in a marriage. Number 3, let your husband lead in the bedroom. Number 3, let your husband lead in the bedroom. Meaning, here's what I mean by this, that as a good man, anything your husband wants to try in the bedroom is reasonable. Anything your husband wants to try in the bedroom is reasonable as a good man. This is so triggering to us as women. I remember the first time that I began to learn this as I've been on this journey and path in my marriage. Oh my goodness, did I get triggered? And the reason for that is, as women, we don't want to give up control. We want the control in the bedroom because we got to keep everything just so that we're not pushed out of our comfort zone to try and explore in anything that might make us feel that we are not in control. It's a control issue. And we get very rigid and frigid in the bedroom, where just if we are having sex still in the marriage, keeping it just what we are comfortable with, and we will again get very triggered and upset if our husband wants to try anything out of the box that isn't what necessarily we feel comfortable in. So here's my advice to women. There is a book, I've mentioned this book before, and it is called Real Sex for Real Women. And it's by a woman named, I always forget her last name. It's a Dr. Laura, but not Dr. Laura Schlesinger. I'm not remembering her last name right now, but it's called Real Sex for Real Women. And the first few chapters are just normalizing sex for us as women, teaching us about our anatomy. And then the next part of the book is it's very eloquently done. It's very tasteful, but it's a lot of different positions and things you can try in the bedroom. And so I say, if it's in that book, it's reasonable. If you have a hard time believing that anything your husband as a good man wants to do in the bedroom is reasonable, if you have a hard time believing that or accepting that, then you want to get this book. And it's easily like 200 pages of different positions and things to try in the bedroom to explore what you like, what you don't like. And so I say, if it's in that book and it's something your husband would like to do, it's reasonable. And we want to do that, one, to show them what they like and what they want to try and is important to them, that we're willing to do what's important to them and not make it all about us. And it gets us outside of our comfort zone in sex to stop being so weird about it and making things gross, or like, I don't want to do that, or that's weird. And gets us outside of our comfort zone to explore ourselves and find what we like or don't like. Because as I've mentioned many times before in videos on this, that we've never figured out what we like because we've had sex for all the wrong reasons and done what we thought we needed to do. So you might get surprised that something your husband wants to do is actually something that you enjoy, that you would never know if you've got your walls up around sex and you're so rigid and frigid that you won't go there, and you make him wrong and bad, that he might like to try something a little out of the box than what you're comfortable with. So that's number 3. Let your husband lead in the bedroom. So recap.
All right, Lucy, I'm gonna let you kick off number 3. And I'm gonna fan myself and then add. Yes, you sent this video.
No, I think she makes a very good point. And when she's saying that, I'm thinking, our husbands are not going to want to do something that will hurt us. They're going to be wild. They're going to get wild, and they're going to a point where, and you don't want to reject them. Also, you don't want to say, ew, I don't, that's the best killer of anything when you say ew in the bedroom. Hello. So sorry, Maggie. All they want to have, is for their woman to accept them and to say, yes, baby, yes, let's do it anytime, anywhere, because that's what they're, they're our men. And you do not want to say no to them because it takes forever. They've taken rejection for their entire lives. And now that we're here together, why not? I trust you, he trusts me, and, let's make it happen. Let's make this beautiful thing happen. And whatever he says that sounds kind of normal, that's how it goes. Okay, Maggie. It's not that bad. It's fun. You gotta make it fun. You're muted.
I'm not a prude. I'm just very a little shy and modest. But in all seriousness, I mean, let's face it. I'm almost 50. Lucy is almost 60, and these are the conversations that need to be had. I see y'all in the chat already. Jurgen, Ben, I wanted to say clapping it up, but even that, now that I said it, anyway. Yes, ladies, I want to touch on a few things that she said. If you have a good man and you married a good man, we covered that disclaimer in episode 1, where she was talking about all of the tips that she's going to give us about submission only applies if you have a good man. And there are so many good men. I love what she said about having sex for all of the wrong reasons. And this is why, ladies, I know men talk about the body count and whatnot. It's not about, of course, it's about the act, but it's about giving your heart away, getting your hopes up, getting your expectations up. We are not built to just hit it and quit it like a man can. And believe me, they can. We can't. So if you try to operate in that masculine way sexually, you end up damaged. Look at all the women who were, adult workers or whatever. And now they're on the internet talking about, I didn't know my worth and value, or I regret it. It's hard for me to have real relationships. So having sex in a marriage and a relationship is absolutely beautiful. Full stop. It is amazing. And I love the other thing. I don't know if Lucy said this or the other lady said it, is that our men have had so much rejection. By the time a man finds a woman that he wants to give his name, his covering, his banner, his provision, his protection, his network, that he wants to basically be willing to die for, he has gone through a lot to get to that point. So ladies, can you imagine the disappointment? I cannot even imagine the disappointment that a man would feel if he wants to express himself with his woman and she either says no, or not tonight, every night, or, kind of, that's nasty or disgusting or whatever. A good man wants to satisfy his woman and enjoy with you. This is not about if you've allowed yourself to just be used as an object and you're damaged because of that, and then you make your husband pay the price. That's a terrible thing to do in a marriage. And so I do like that. And these are her 3 tips of how to let your husband lead. And what I love about leading in the bedroom, ladies, yes, of course, you may say, I'm interested, or however you let him know I'm interested tonight, today, right now, whatever. But men are natural hunters. I think Lucy said this a long time ago in the Wives Club episodes. If he's the predator, you be the prey. Still keep that playfulness in your marriage. And, I'll get, even, in a little bit of transparency, it's like men don't want you to, how do I say, be the aggressor. They want to be the conqueror in all things. They want to be our heroes. They want to be the king. They want to be the best. So if you don't have a lot of experiences and you're not comparing the way this one does this and that one does that, then the eyes that you have for your husband or for your man, it is amazing. So, again, you can do what you want to, but it will be harder for you to really be vulnerable and open up and trust him implicitly if you allow yourself to be used by men that had no intentions for you and you knew it. So I think that's what I wanted to say. I'll get my fan out in a moment. Hello, Auntie Jenny. Roderick says, breathe, Maggie. I was struggling, y'all. Lucy sent me this video and wants to review it live. So let's see what y'all are saying in the chat. I hope this is helpful. I hope y'all come back. But yes, let me go back up to where we left off. Okay, Rodney says, kudos, Miss Maggie, for your parenting skills. Thank you. It's a sacrifice, but it's what's best for the kids. Tucker says, Mom raised me to be a man. She did both parts. I'm only 23, and let me tell you, it's hard to find a woman nowadays. Yes, Tucker, and I will just say this, and usually we women talk to the women, but since I have teenage boys, I have a heart for young men. At 23, it is going to be hard for you. Find me in 10 years. You keep doing what you're supposed to be doing. Stay on your path. The women have the leverage now, but believe me, if they don't make good decisions when you are 33, if you stay on your purpose and do not let them take you off of your path, I'm talking to you like I talk to my sons. It is going to be hard now, but believe me, your day is coming. And from that day to the rest of your life, you will be in the power position. Find me in 10 years. Sinji said, failure is the greatest accelerator to success. Action, grit, persistence are some attributes in character. Those become apparent in the selection process and something you can see in man versus a boy. Yes, and Sinji has been with us from the beginning, and I believe former military Navy, I believe. All right, let's see. What are y'all saying about topic number 3? Gillis has got the big eyes. Yep, I did too. Okay, Tanya's cheering it up. Tanya says definitely. Jurgen says you have my full and undivided attention. He is here for it. Here comes Sinji, the bedroom with the big eyes. I know what's happening after this lawn care outside. It's time to visit American Furniture afterwards. Inflation ain't stopping, Sinji. Well, yes, sir. Say hello to your beautiful bride. Gillis said, Lord have mercy. Agreed. Sinji says, the Kama Sutra disciple here, you're dying laughing right now. Yes, you all laugh at my pain. Get it, fellas and ladies. Okay. Rodney says marriage and sex are about trust. This is really true, ladies. And as someone who doesn't have a lot of dating experience, I've been in 2 long-term relationships, I'm going to say, I believe the best intimate experiences have to be with someone that you really care about and someone that really cares about you. Yes, you can meet someone in a club and go have drunken, sloppy sex and wake up in the morning and say, what just happened? Of course you can do that. Nobody's stopping you, but you don't feel good about that. I'll just speak for the women. I don't think you would feel good about that. You want to be cared for and loved in every way. So wait for it and make it special. Jurgen is still giving us the thumbs up. Gillis is crying at Sinji. Clue Channel is laughing. Darren is laughing at us. Leanne is laughing at us. Rodney is supporting Lucy with the facts. Rodney says, "Am I okay, Miss Maggie?" I'm okay now, y'all. I just got a little hot. Sinji says, "I knew there was logic to why I practice hot yoga and Pilates." See, this is why we keep our stuff middle in the road. You all get one door open, and here you come, Lord. Yes, Lord, praise and make. I'm not reading that. Let us continue on. Lucy's clapping. You're gonna say facts. Funny. Where is my fan? Y'all got me over here. Breathe. Miss Maggie. I'm trying, y'all. I can't. Channel supplies. Okay, Rodney says sex for all the wrong reasons causes emotional calluses. I like that term. Emotional calluses and scars to most women and some men. Yes, ladies, I'm telling you, hey, do what you want to, but Lucy always says that men want to be our heroes, and I love that. And it applies in every way. All right. Rodney says there's a big difference between having sex and making love. There are times and moments for each. Absolutely. I'm not reading that. Thank you, Sinji. Oh, yeah, Air Force. Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm a little confused right now. Happy Saturday, Mona in the house. Auntie Jenny says, "Good evening, everyone." All right, let's wrap up the video so I can fan, and let's hear what she says about her 3 points. And then we'll do one last check and let you all have your afternoon. And I can go. Kim K is laughing at me. Here we go.
Cap of the 3 ways that women need to be submissive in a marriage. Number 1, let your husband lead in the financial decisions. Number 2, let your husband lead in parenting. And number 3, let your husband lead in the bedroom. So, ladies, after talking about this, I'm going to talk to the women for just a moment and then the men, and then we'll wrap up. Women, this is just basic 101 on how to have a healthy marriage. All this is about is having a partnership, rowing together, letting your husband lead in his strengths as a man so that you can lead in your strengths as a woman and just be a woman and be in your role that will make you feel really, really good about yourself. Again, this is working towards something bigger, that you and your husband are in a marriage and allowing him to lead in his strengths as a man, valuing his opinions, his decision making as the head of the household, wanting him to feel like a man, allows you to discover and know yourself as a woman and feel really good in yourself as a woman. The key for women is that you have to have a foundation of having a healthy relationship with yourself, of feeling secure and grounded in who you are, feeling good about who you are, so that you stop emasculating your husband. The reason that we emasculate our husbands is because we don't feel good about ourselves on the inside. We don't operate from a place of character and integrity in our lives. We make decisions that are devaluing to who we are. We disrespect ourselves, which makes us feel bad about ourselves on the inside. So we project that out onto our husbands and make them feel wrong and bad because we feel so wrong and bad in ourselves. If you're emasculating your husband, he will never be able to be who he is in the marriage as a leader and a man. So the solution for women to stop being emasculating in their marriages is actually to learn to have a healthy relationship with themselves, which I define as being happy. And that's what I teach in my women's course, the happiness program. And if that's something you're interested in, there's a link below to apply for a consultation. It's not a good fit for everyone. And I want to work with the people I know I absolutely 100% can help. And if I can't, I want to be honest and integrity about that. So that's why I have an application process. So the men listening, the purpose of talking about this, because some of you are thinking, yeah, right, this will never happen, that you need to know, good men need to know what's reasonable of how a healthy marriage should look. So it's reasonable that you lead in these ways. It's reasonable that you lead in the household. But for some of you, that's not going to happen. Your wife is not going to change. But you need to know what's reasonable so you know what you can fight for in a healthy, responsible way in your marriage. And if you have a wife that isn't going to change and isn't going to step up, then you can see the reality so that you are not fooled that you are the problem. When you can no longer be fooled by your wife and are grounded to know you are not the problem, then that's how you overcome the emasculation and the gaslighting. So you are no longer giving your power away, and you can make choices about the relationship based on your values and what is important to you, and begin to navigate the relationship with strength and confidence so that you are no longer a victim to the emasculation. And that's why I teach that your wife is your greatest teacher. As men and women, as women, we need to be in camp take responsibility, and men need to be in camp take responsibility. How we get there and what we need to do looks different because we're different as women and men. Women need to take responsibility that we are the problem because we emasculate good men, and that's a reflection of how we feel about ourselves. And good men, once they see what's going on and they are woken up to the reality of what happens in a relationship or a marriage with a woman, then to be in camp take responsibility, it's taking back that power you've unknowingly given away so that your wife can no longer emasculate you. It begins to bounce off even if she doesn't change, and you can make decisions about the relationship and what's important to you. But men need to see the reality of what's reasonable in a marriage, and women needing to see what's reasonable in a marriage and what actually makes a healthy, happy relationship. And who would have thunk it? It's being women and being men and being grounded in those roles and responsibilities. So thank you so much for listening today.
All right, everyone. So we're going to wrap this up. This actually was really good. I was thinking as she was speaking, how many, I was going to say young people, but how many people did not have the example? I'm so fortunate. And the older I get, when we grow up in a traditional nuclear family, you see the example. You see the father role and the husband role and the mother role and the wife role. But so many people are trying to figure it out. And here, Lucy and I teach to the women, but I love how she did encourage the men. No, you should lead. You should take your position. That's what I tell the boys. I feel like I can speak to them as their mom, but if this is helpful, so many of you all have said this is helpful, and I'm so grateful that we're able to have this conversation. And if you take away, one thing that makes your relationship better, then our job is done. I'm going to pass it over to Lucy, and then I'll read what you all are saying in the chat, and we'll close it out. What would you add, Lucy?
I highly recommend you going to her channel. I put the link in the chat because especially her early videos, she explains why she is so much of an advocate for men, for good men. She explains that there was a situation where she was counseling a husband and wife situation. And the wife, when she was doing single counseling, she was counseling the wife. The wife was painting a story of the husband that was completely different than what the husband said. So she said, I was manipulated by a woman. And then she had to get counseling from one of her male advocate counselors to say, yeah, women are incredibly, are pros at manipulating the stories. And she fell for it. So again, that's the reason why she has the woman and men guidance. I highly recommend you go to her channel because she tells you, she gives really tangible things that you can say. And the stories and the comments from the good men in all of those chapters are incredible. You get to see the man side of the pain that they go through when they're in a really bad husband-wife marriage situation.
Absolutely. And one of the things I love about watching this channel, and it's the Happy Wife School, and I always link the video that we're reacting to in the description. So whether you're watching live or the replay, if you expand the description, it's there. She talked about herself as well. And this is one thing I'm very passionate about: older women teaching the young, not only what we've done right, but what we've done wrong. And she said she was one of those difficult women. She found herself unhappy in her marriage and blaming her husband and gaslighting him and basically saying that he was the problem, until she woke up one day. I don't know the whole story, what caused it, but she realized that we as women, we hold the keys to the home. And I know I've been honest about what men need to be doing and where they're strong, but ladies, we can change the temperature in a space. You've been into a home where you feel warm and welcome and loved. You own the nurturing, not only of the children and the plants and the animals, but also of the love in the relationship. You can reject your husband, or you can welcome your husband. And so that is a strength that we have. That's something that masculine men actually crave, our femininity. So I would encourage you, if you have a good man, and ladies, I said it last time, if you have a good man, love him, because you do not want to be out here looking. It's not where you want to be. All right. So Sinji says, stay on your purpose. Y'all know I can clown at times. Keep doing the excellent work, Maggie and Luke Hazley. Thank you, sir. We will. Everybody's saying hello. There's the link to the Happy Wife School. Sabrina says, hello, ladies. This was so good and very informative. Thank you. Thank you all. And pass it on, not just, from us or our channels, but once you learn something, pass it on to your children or anyone else who you can help have better relationships, if they're open to it. Yes, we talked about a purpose-driven life, men and women working together. Rodney says the word reasonable or reason is extremely meaningful to the logic of a man's mind. Yes, and happy belated birthday to Lucy. We're celebrating her all week. Marie says, I'm so late. You ladies are so beautiful. Thank you for the compliment, my dear. And Rodney says, we all have the right to have an epiphany. The question is, what triggers such an enlightenment? It can be pleasure or it can be pain. And we are here to help you all avoid the pain. We all bump our head. Life happens to all of us, but you can absolutely have a happy marriage, happy relationships. And I think the takeaway for me in listening to this is the submissive wife and letting your husband lead where he's strong. Like she said, frees you to be that woman. The pressure is not for us, ladies. Let go. Like I had to let go in certain areas, and I'm so much happier and so much better for it. So we are done. We're going to wrap up. I think I've cooled myself back down. We will be back same time next week because I'm traveling again. All right, we will be, my man's on his way, so I got to get my apron on. We'll be back next week, same time, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, and I'm sure Lucy will find another video for us to react to and give you all our feedback. I'm glad you all liked the stream. Thank you so much to our donations today, Swab D for the initial $5 and the follow-up $5, and Shantia, most important quote for me, she says, I'm listening to this live with my daughter. All right, everyone, we will see you Friday for the Wives Club and Saturday back here. I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon and adios.